Hi everyone, my name is Limpho Aishah Letlala, and three words that describe Dimple would be resilient, intentional, compassionate, or kindness. What do I do and why do I do it? I am an author, a speaker, an entrepreneur, and I am the founder of Nyota Events and the Find Your Orange movement. It is spaces that create intentional belonging, empowerment, and growth for women. A bit of inclusivity because I'm a boy mom. As a lady doing what I do, what do I think I have? What role do I think I have in society? My role is to remind women that they matter, and everybody deserves second chances. And through healing and growth, you can always have what you thought you lost. What is my personal background? My journey is really based from experience, entrepreneurship, and really having compassion for authenticity and women being healed versions of themselves. For me, healing is very, um, it's a necessity to be able to achieve everything that you aspire to be. And what is the strongest memory I have of my childhood? I'm one of those people that struggle even when I'd have to say, look back to when you were 2 years old. But I think the most relevant thing that I could say has been with me throughout my childhood and adulthood as such is the fact of trying too hard to belong. A sense of belonging has been something that I've struggled with, which led me to overcompensate. Um, my scariest experience. Whew, failure. My scariest experience is losing myself, because there's seasons where really fear and exhaustion were louder than the purpose, but through the seasons I've learned to navigate that and be a better version of the scary parts that I'm scared of. um, what is the most embarrassing moment? I'm a perfectionist, I'm a firstborn, and I'm a Taurus, so whew, things not going my way is scary and it is very embarrassing. But because in the fields that I am, I organize and host projects or events, and sometimes they don't go as I have planned. But along the way, I've realized that it is really the noise inside me that is thinking that particular thing is an embarrassment. Sometimes people don't even see that. It is just the voices that tell you that was embarrassing, but sometimes that most embarrassing thing is what somebody took from. That is why I'm very passionate about authenticity because I've learned that even in the mess, everything does turn out perfectly. What makes me angry? Mean girl spirit. um, making people feel left out, making people feel as they don't belong, or also people in power intentionally making people feel less of human. How do I set myself apart in my industry? I lead with intention and authenticity, so already that sets me apart because my events and projects are meant to create experiences for people that they can take home with and um, feeling like they matter and creating healing spaces that people can be real in. Have you achieved everything that you desire? Ooh, my life just started at 40. So, have I achieved the things that I want? I still believe that there's more that can be there, but I'm really living in most of the things that I prayed for, and I'm humbled and grateful for that opportunity to still be alive and have lived this long to start over and leave the things that I sold myself short for. Um, what do I dislike about my work? Whew. Living emotionally, going into leadership, purpose filled work is emotionally exhausting. And sometimes there's experiences or situations where I'm unable to disconnect, and I carry that with me when I go home. And I think because I'm an empath, so I feel and carry people's pain. So sometimes it's really exhausting, but I've learned to take a break and internalize within myself as well. After each event that I would host, I take time out to recharge myself. Um, what is the most memorable response I've had in my profession? Whew, I've had so many. But I'm going to just speak of recent feedback because of the space that I've created for women. And the best feedback is when somebody has placed themselves in an experience that I'd be facilitating and I'd be holding. And that is the take home for me when that is a success because the sessions are meant to create an experience and a take home for the people that are part of the sessions. They're usually very intimate to allow people to have a safe space in. Wow, the questions there. So many. What is my favorite work of art? My book. I've recently just made myself proud and completed a manuscript, and my book is finally out. But books, poetry, good music, they always make me feel relaxed and centered. Um, my favorite food, drink, or song. I love cooking. So any homeful, soulful, warm food that is. And I'm a coffee addict. Song song choices depend on how I'm feeling, what season I'm in. Currently in my season, the song is supposed to be. I can't remember who sings it. It's Joy something, but my everyday go-to song is Andre Day, Rise Up. How do I find balance between my work and my personal relationships? I believe balance is a myth, really. There isn't anything that is balanced because something will not something will suffer while you're trying to find the balance or create something. But I'm still learning to navigate my way into my workspace, into my family time. Where I just also I have days where because my weekends are generally very hectic. I don't work Monday, Tuesday. Those are my weekends. So I get to be present for my kids, my husband. But balance requires a lot of support. So I have an amazing support structure, my husband and my kids and my family. So that's how I find balance. Otherwise, there really wouldn't be balance because everything just becomes so consuming. um, it's a red race, I believe, but chasing dreams and all that, finding balance requires a great support system. Um, if it costs you everything and everyone you love, would you leave with that? Never. I've experienced that. I've lost everything, and I was fortunate enough that God has given me a second chance to work on my marriage and my family structure. And I would give everything up to not lose that again. So no, success means nothing with the people that are in my life. So name the three people that inspire you. Real people or celebrities? I'm a person that believes in real people stories, real people heroes. So it would be my late grandmother, myself, and every woman really that is navigating life and rebuilding while going through storms. I don't have any famous people that I center my life around. Yes, there are people that I look up to, but generally I draw strength from real life stories and people around me, and I'm surrounded with amazing people, women and men, in my family that really inspire me to be who I am. My husband. My husband does inspire me because he's the kindest person. If it wasn't for him, I don't think, or the person that he is, I don't think I would have achieved half the things that I do because he's very passionate and allows me to grow in my journey and in whatever that I'm building. So yeah. What is my superpower? Being a mom. Being a mom, I'm enjoying that more now because, like I said, my life began in my 40s. So I've just found space in being blessed with a child in my 40s. So I've got a 1 year old. So raising a 1 year old in my 40s, like that's like the biggest superpower. But in general, really, my superpower would be being able to connect with women or people that are healing and going through their rebuilding season. And I think that's because I'm very relatable when it comes to that because in my stories and in my journey, I'm very authentic and real about my experiences. What is my craziest, wildest desire? Travel the world and host all of my empowering sessions or my kindness initiatives. That is having it internationally. I think that is the craziest dream, and the craziest thing is the timelines that I have on my vision board for that. And TikTok, the time is waiting for me to clock it out. What is my dream project? My dream project currently is the Rise Above the Noise. Um, it is something that I started in navigating my charity work and my business and trying to put them together and how they would blend in. And because of I whatever purpose that I'm in, it is from experience and I lead with experiences and where I've been. And rising above my internal noise has been liberating, and I would love to share that experience with people, with women, and with the human beings as large. Because in the movement, when we have sessions, we have male entrepreneurs that give back into the project of building women so much. But to be in international spaces and be able to host the sessions across different countries and interact with different women in different spaces, industries, and journeys and seasons in their lives. What is your favorite, most inspirational place? I recently got the opportunity to go to a place called Motwalumi in Devon. I've loved Devon. Um, and it had a private beach. So I've then realized that apart really nature is my inspiration space, but being by the beach and waking up to that sunset and getting to see the sunrise was very inspiring. That is when I completed my book in those few days where I was there, and that was my most inspirational place. And I think that will always be one of the spaces that I would love to go back to get inspired. Um, what is the best advice that I've given? I'm not a motivational speaker, but recently I did a TikTok video, and it was just something that I was thinking of how I've let myself lose out on a lot of opportunities because I've written myself off. So the best advice that I gave was, even if the world writes you off, never ever write yourself out, because with consistency and showing up for myself every day, I was able to achieve the things that I have now. So even if the world writes you off, never, ever, ever, ever write yourself off. Don't give up on yourself, because you're the only person that can bet on yourself. Um, Whew, it was a long, long, long list of questions, and I was so scared to go through them because I didn't have them printed out. But in closing, I would like to thank Girlz Have a Voice for seeing me, you know, and seeing me of value to be able to share this experience, share my life, my story, and have those questions. The questions were beautiful because I really, really had to internalize a lot of them. Had this been a magazine interview, I think I would have been checked out because I write a lot, and even when I was just doing these questions, I kept typing the answers. I had such long answers, and I doubt I would have had to have a whole magazine feature by myself to go through these questions. But I am humbled and honored to have been seen, and I hope my message would inspire somebody else. And remember to never, ever, ever write yourself off. And from me to you, you are enough.